So we slapping, yeah? We slapping?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna slap a company that I really don't care about because I'm not on their produce. But I think people should know and boycott where necessary. So I'm going to slap Starbucks. So the Starbucks chains, they banned attire that advocated a political or religious or personal issue. So they banned their staff from wearing anything that has anything to do with Black Lives Matter, while at the same time acting like they cared about Black Lives Matter. This is what I'm talking about. These people do not really care. They don't really care. And they're worried about their little racist, their racist customers. And it's really just that. I'm slapping them for their behavior. And I don't think anybody should go back to Starbucks if you can manage to deal with your addiction to Starbucks. You should just stop going. So I'm slapping Starbucks. I mean, I've heard that they've changed their mind about what they're doing, but the fact that they thought to say it in the first place just lets me know where they stand in it. So yeah, slapping Starbucks.
One thing that I don't want to slap them, I just want to give them a little shake. You know when you need a little shake? So Nancy Pelosi was kneeling for George Floyd. And I saw a post, Nancy Pelosi was kneeling for George Floyd on Capitol Hill, I believe, with a number of other members of, what are they called? Congress, I'm assuming, in America. They kneeled for 8 minutes and 46 seconds as a mark, I guess, of solidarity and respect to George Floyd. And they also had kente cloth around their necks, almost as if they had gone to a HBCU and graduated. I don't really understand what happened. I really recognize the intention, but you know what they say about the road to hell, it's marked with good intentions. So someone said they looked like they were playing a version of Wakandan chess. And I...
Yeah, they did.
Wild. I would just like them to make it illegal and a hate crime to murder Black people. You don't have to kneel for us, you can just change the law. Thank you.
Yeah, so with my slap today, I was thinking of this, that I had a long list of people that I thought I could slap when I thought about it, but I actually would like to use my slap today, not really to slap, but just to highlight something that we should be doing. Sometimes that we kind of it's nice to highlight who has done something ridiculous, but I'd love us to actually do something. And I've realized there's space for us to, last week we were talking about making this more than a moment and making it a movement. I have realized that there's the older generation, there's a level of unity that is needed from now onwards, and this is unity in all races, but particularly with the Black community. And I think how we've been talking about history not being taught properly, especially after listening to Akala, but also after listening to ignorant conversations in general. I think that there's a lot of re-educating our elders, that the re-education the re-education of our elders, there we go, that we need to do. And I think it can start from just us as youth, whether it be your parents, your aunties, uncles, whoever. There's a lot of things that we have learned or nearly for a long time, because of this thing of divide and conquer. There's a lack of understanding, or maybe there's some parts of history that are still not clear or people don't know, and that's from both sides. That's from parents or people of African heritage, and in the same way, people of Caribbean heritage. And it might be just ignorance about the history of the Caribbean, the history of the Americas, like what happened there, and the same way the history as it pertains to Africa and African nations. And I think sometimes that is shown in a lot of tension, not even tension, but like misunderstandings. I think that this is the time to rectify that, and I think we as youth play a big role in just like sitting down our parents, our family, our elders, and being that voice when they say something that we know is not historically correct, just to be like, no, actually this and this, did you know about this, or have you had a chance? Because for a long time the white people were that they controlled the narrative, and whatever they said happened, we took as truth or as gospel. And even in terms of nature, like, oh, African people are like this, American people are like, Black Americans are like this, Caribbean people are like this. We need to just stop that now. And I think for my slap today, I'm asking all of us to just look at our families or our corner and see what kind of re-education needs to be done.
Yeah, did you
Because
just
when we know better, we do better.
slap me?
No.
You
Oh
did.
no. No, I didn't slap you. Oh my gosh. No, I
You slapped
didn't.
everybody.
Why?
Slaps everybody.
Oh, I slapped myself as well. Do you know those conversations that I've had in general? And I just thought, what? How do you not know that? And how do I know that? And this was something that, how could I, so I told you yesterday that I wanted to do this. How would I have known that I don't know, how would I have slapped you?
Guys, we're moving on to
You did slap us, and the slap is well received.
I slapped everybody. I slapped myself.
We're moving on.
What?
I'm teasing. Relax. Now let's get to your clap.
Okay.
I better not
My
get a
clap.
clap though.
So my clap goes for two people, George the Poet and Akala. So George the Poet, let me just bring up his tweet. He tweeted something this week, I think it was. Maybe it wasn't this week, recently. 2nd of June. So that was last week, I think.
Last week.
That just really like highlighted what I was saying. I think he said, my appearance on BBC Newsnight yesterday reminded me that racism conversations are weakened by the gaps in our information. Ideally, we would all leave school with a basic awareness of Britain's leading role in the oppression of Black and brown people, but we are a long way from this. And I just thought, like, you know what? It's so true. Sometimes the issue comes from the lack of information, whether it be willful ignorance or just honest, like they just didn't know. And that's generally mostly the West or people, non-Black people just being ignorant, but also, like I said before in my slap, even ourselves, like we need to take Black history as Black history, and we have a responsibility to know about all Black history as Black people, right? Also, my clap goes to Carla. We thought that he was silent or quiet in the last recording, but it seemed like he was just charging up to come with the sense that we needed, and especially in this time where sometimes we can have a very like we are really focused on the very, very short term or future, and what we're going to do, the media, exactly, and what we're going to do tomorrow, and how it's making us feel as maybe an individual. He came out and he told people, you know what, let's think about this a different way. These riots that are going to, all these marches or protests that are going to happen, which are happening today, of the English Defence League, you might not need, actually might be better for you to stay home. And sometimes you need, I think he offered, it came from the right person to get through to a lot of people and give them a better long-term and a wider picture of what they should be doing and how this affects the whole movement. And yeah, I want to clap for him because it definitely had an effect.
I saw him at the protest. Or what's right?
Yeah. Oh, what, this today?
No, last week. He
Oh
said
yeah, last week. Oh yeah, you saw, last week, yeah. But yeah, so I want to clap for him because, and also the fact that the way in which he did his live, just taking questions rather than just releasing a video, talking at people, really answering the questions that people have. That really, I think that was a really necessary thing for him, for us to have, and for him to do. Yeah, I just think he's also an all-round amazing person. Let me just say that as well. And that is that.
I'm just going to clap one person, so I'm going to clap a woman of colour, because you know why? We're not clapped enough. I want to clap Mayor Muriel Bowser, I hope I said the name right. She's the mayor of DC. She's the woman who signed off or approved the mural. No, her name is Muriel, but she signed off the mural of Lord.
This is a wow. You can do it. Okay.
I want to clap a black woman because we're not clapped enough. Yeah. So I want to clap a lady called Muriel Bowser, who is the mayor of DC, District of Columbia, and which I love, by the way, and I'm going to go back there next year.
Love.
Every black person should go to DC. Why not? So I want to clap her because she signed off or approved the painting of the Black Lives Matter, I guess, like wording on the road, which is leading up to like Capitol Hill. And she's come under fire with it. And I think I saw something that said that potentially someone like is trying to sue her for approving that. And I just said, you just better stand your ground and stay in your lane and stay in the God-approved place that God himself has put you in. So yeah, I want to clap for her because you know what? She's out here. I think a lot of people are saying things and doing things, and she was like, we're going to paint the street, and the street's going to say Black Lives Matter. And I think it was really iconic. And it looked, to me anyway, for people who are into like art and how it looks, it was just very soothing. I want to clap for her.
When I saw the pictures of it, I thought it was superimposed. I thought it was effects.
A lot of people thought that.
Photoshop. So I thought it's wild.
A lot of people thought that.
Black Lives Matter. I was like, whoa. Yeah, okay. All right. Capital of the USA, yeah? All right. I like it. All right, so I'm going to clap one of my favorite film directors in the world, Spike Lee.
Oh yeah,
because the film The Five Bloods came out yesterday, and because it was out yesterday, I watched it immediately yesterday because I love Spike Lee, and it was a great film. It's based on the Vietnam War, obviously the black people that were fighting then. I'm not going to tell you more, but yeah, it's a great film. And also, who gets a clap as well is Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo, who's an actor in this film, he deserves to at least be nominated for an Oscar for his performance in this film. It's really, really great. Delroy Lindo.
Hold on, what did you watch on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Came out on Netflix.
Yesterday. Wow, Lyndon, you were quick off the mark.
I was waiting for this day. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I'm clapping Spike Lee and Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo, born in Lewisham, but obviously he's an American guy.
Oh, he's British.
Come on, Delroy.
Yeah, British Jamaican Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
The problem is, I almost wanted to slap Netflix for this because I knew it was coming. I need to search for it. But usually when something comes out new on Netflix, they let me know straight away. When I log in, they put it and it says, right here, this is out right now, watch it, right? But The Five Bloods was not. So I don't know what they're playing at. I don't know if they're trying to hide it or something.
Well, when it was A Fall from Grace, that was all over my Netflix, all over everything. So I'm not too sure. But do you know how much, or do you know what the deal was with Spike Lee releasing this? Do you know what the package was?
I don't know. No, I don't. I was gonna slap Netflix for not letting me know that the film was out straight away, but obviously because I cared about the film, I knew it was coming out, so I searched for it. But I shouldn't have to search for it. If everything else that comes out new, you're letting me know straight away. And after I watch something else, you give me a trailer to tell me watch this too, even though I don't want to watch it. So Netflix, I don't understand why you're trying to hide The Five Bloods. Maybe you're scared because black people are already angry.